Good morning, good morning. Happy birthday to you. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life, because every day is your birthday if you choose to celebrate life. Who is renting the space in your head today? We're going to talk about that in a minute. Some of you may recognise where I am at the moment. I'm down on the harbour side in Ilfracombe. You'll recognise the statue up here, the Damien Hirst statue. You may also recognise that when I was standing here before, the water was coming up this slipway and getting my feet wet. But as you can see, I even walked all the way to the end of this platform here, where the water was just coming up to the edge there. And I talked about how there's normally a route across to that pole that was standing up over there, and now you can see there is in fact a route across down there. So that's where I'm going to go today, to talk to you about who's renting the space in your head. Incidentally, on a slight side note, there's also a little section over here, as you can see, which effectively creates a pool. When the tide goes out, I'm assuming it must drain out.
Can do, yeah. A few polyps and that around there.
Internet connections as usual. Yes, I assume it must drain out eventually because obviously it's... Yes, so, sorry, keep losing signal. Yeah, it must drain out eventually because obviously it's the same level as the sea on the outside. Because obviously if it was a full pool, you would expect it to be filled right up to the top here. So it must drain out somewhere in that pond. But you can walk around and then get in and go and have a swim if you wanted to, I suppose, before it all drains away completely. It's kind of cool. Might have to try that one of these days. I'm obviously going to have to do my talk from up here because the signal is too bad down there. Right, let's try this again. It's all good fun, isn't it? Who's renting the space inside your head? Well, me at the moment, obviously, as you can see. I had a great plan for how to attach this to the poles as well, but I have to do it the old-fashioned way now. With a spider in the way as well. It's kind of fun, isn't it? Oh, God. Hello, everybody. Sorry about this. Signals in the middle of the sea. It's always fun, isn't it? There you go. Right, we're down. And now there are people walking behind me, of course. Good morning. Okay, so let's run to this topic at last. Oh no, we see happy birthdays, don't we? Gosh, there we go. Happy birthday to Helen, so Nicola, Rebecca, Carla for today, and then from yesterday, Mariana, Fritha, Toni, Jennifer, and Ada. Ada? I'm not sure. Quick breathing exercise before we go on. See how thrown off my game I get. I had it all planned out nice and neatly. Morning. It's all right. Little cameo appearance by a stranger boy walking past. How thrown I get off my game when the plan I had didn't work out. So obviously couldn't get a signal down there where I would originally planned. Had the elastic band all set up ready to go, so I could just slip the phone in really easily. But of course the signal wasn't good enough, so I couldn't do a live down there. I suppose I could have recorded it and then posted it later live, but I like it live because I like the opportunity for people to come on here and talk to me in person. But there you go. And now I've kind of completely lost my train of thought. Haven't got onto the topic I wanted to. I wanted to do a really quick introduction. I had planned it. I thought about how I'm going to do this introduction. Quick happy birthday, breathing exercise, and then into the topics of the day. That was the original plan. Anyway, so breathing exercise. First of all, what's one thing that's made you smile in the last 24 hours since you, well, 48 hours actually since you last saw me, because I didn't do on these yesterday, obviously. So blow out that and think, what's the one thing that's made me smile in the last, if you do this every hour, in the last hour. If you do it every 24 hours, in the last 24 hours. One thing that's made me smile, just pretend it's a candle and you're blowing it out. Then breathe in 5 through your nose. Take this hand, put it on your heart. Hold your breath for 5 while you're lighting the candles on your left hand. So now you've got 5 candles lit on your left hand. Then you can blow out the candles on your left hand as if it's a birthday cake, and you're blowing out the candles for the people whose happy birthday it is today, and also for yourself whose happy birthday it is today. So, of course, if you've kept that breath, hold it in, then you'll have a lot more breath to breathe out. So just do it one more time. And I do this usually 5 things, five ways. You do it. One thing that's made you smile, one thing that you've achieved, what's one thing you're going to achieve in the next period of time, 24 hours, 1 hour, whatever it is. One thing you're grateful for, and then a little happy birthday to yourself and anybody you know whose birthday it is anytime soon. But actually, to be honest, happy birthday to everybody, because it is the first day of the rest of your life for everybody. So let's just do that exercise one more time. So, about the one, Carla. 5 to the nose. This hand on your heart, takes your mind away from your head. Breathe in, holding while you light the candles on the left. And then blow out the candles. Happy birthday. And what's the one thing I'm going to get done? What's the one thing that's made me smile? What's one thing I'm grateful for? All that kind of stuff. And then expand on that. Got a whole bunch of people coming past me right now, so this is going to be fun. Not sure where they're going, but there's a whole crowd coming past.
Melanie, Charlotte or Jay?
There we go.
Yeah.
Just double checking, make sure I didn't miss nothing.
I'll stand a bit closer. Oh, there's a lot of people coming past now. I'm not sure. Okay. Anyway. This is really annoying. I didn't expect this at all. What is it? It's just coming up to 9 o'clock, I suppose, isn't it? So I'm a bit late. It's my fault. Who is renting space in your head? Obviously these people at the moment are renting space in my head. Watched a video this morning, fantastic video this morning, from a guy called Tim Grover, who was the trainer for Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. And he had some really, really cool points to make out on this whole thing. Yes, a big crowd of people coming past. And one of the things that he said, which I've heard before a few times, which is who's renting the space inside your head? Morning, guys. Who's renting the space inside your head? Now, we've heard this thing a lot. Who's renting the space inside your head? A lot of people's, other people's opinions and so forth that often are, I forgot to start my timer. See how everything's just gone completely weird today? And now these people, I'm feeling really self-conscious because I'm like, they're on my camera now. Didn't want them to do that, so I'm like, yeah, whatever, it's all fun, isn't it? They just walk past, they're fine, they're random people, it's okay. We've heard this thing, who's renting the space inside your head? But he had a little slightly different take on it. He said, because the thing is that, well, I'm not sure if he said this actually, because this may have been my interpretation of it, but he's also saying who's also in control of the thoughts inside the head, because he was talking about, well, actually he was talking about who's in control of the thoughts inside your head, and then he went on to say, because a lot of times it's other people's opinions and other people's thoughts that come inside your head and effectively rent space. So that's from my interpretation. So yes, so you have thoughts inside your head, and are you in control of those thoughts and those feelings that then lead from it? So you have your thoughts, sometimes you have feelings, and then that influences your thoughts, but then you can control the thoughts, and then that can have an effect on your emotions, and then your actions, of course, come as part of that as well. So this all has a knock-on effect. It's a circular thing. I would normally draw this on the screen as a circular. If anybody's ever done CBT, you'll have seen this thing before. Thoughts, feelings, actions, results. And we're going to get on to results in a minute. Oh dear. Okay, I definitely need to do this before 9 o'clock, clearly. So yes, and as you can see, so this is what happens when other people are renting space inside your head. You're not in control of your own thoughts, and therefore your own actions and your emotions. So I'm in control of my emotions. I am in control of my thoughts. I am managing to control them just about. Inside me, I'm just a little bit frustrated because I'm not doing the flow that I wanted to do, and so you can see what's really going on here. I am controlling it by making my thoughts clear, recognizing the fact that these people, they don't care what I'm really doing. They've got their own business that they want to get on with, and making a little bit of noise. It might be too disturbing for the people who are watching this, but it doesn't really matter. It is what it is. But who's the key thing though is who's paying the price? Because when you talk about people renting the space inside your head, they're not usually paying any price for renting it. So they're basically I was going to say house sitters like I am, I suppose, at the moment, but no, squatters is what you're really doing. They're squatting in your head, aren't they? They're not really renting the space in your head, they are squatting in your head, because you're the one that's paying the price. So you're paying the mortgage on the property, and then you've got squatters in your house. They're not even paying you the rent, because at least if they were paying you the rent and then covering your mortgage, you'd be, oh, well, okay, that's okay, this is good. And that's usually what a mentor would be, or a good quality coach, properly renting space. Now, admittedly, you're still paying for them, but they're doing good and they're doing value. So I suppose it's like having a plumber or a house sitter like me. A house sitter coming into your house, looking after the house for you, so you're not having to pay the person who's in your house, and they're doing a good job for you while they're in your house. There you go. I've just had the opportunity to go up to the Isle of Skye. By the way, if anybody's watching this and knows how I can get to the Isle of Skye cheaply and quickly, that'd be fantastic. Because at the moment, it looks like it's going to be a 24-hour journey on the bus, or a very expensive flight, which is also going to be awkward as well, because I've still got buses and trains at both ends anyway, because the nearest airport is Inverness, or Stornoway, but Stornoway is then a ferry to Skye. So anyway, it's all good fun. So yeah, who's paying the price on that rental, that space inside your head? Anyway, I think it's probably enough, to be honest. There was a whole bunch of stuff I was going to say in here as well about how everybody wants to win, but nobody wants to pay the price. That ties into that. Is like that people don't want to do the work to be able to win. They're quite happy to stay contained and you know, controlled inside their heads. You're looking for... I don't know if you're looking for the boat. It seems like we're in a rush to get to the boat. If you're looking for the boat, there's a boat down here going.
Oh no, we're just looking at
Okay. Sorry, you just look like you're in a rush and they're about to leave. So.
So we're going on that one.
Okay, fair enough.
Look at the speed.
All right, fair enough. No worries. Okay, so yes, and then he was also saying, this guy, Tim Grover, was saying when you lose, and he said stay down for a bit and absorb the reason you lost, and learn the lesson as to the reason you lost or the reason you didn't win or whatever. Because as I've said a few times on this program, success is built with the bricks of failure. And then as I was writing that down, I thought, oh, that's also true for rejection as well, because I'm struggling with rejection as a thing. But when somebody rejects you, you have an opportunity to learn as to why they rejected you, and to learn how you felt about that rejection and how you dealt with that rejection. So that becomes a learning experience as well. And then I thought about the people renting or squatting inside your head. That's criticism. That's people telling you, stuff that you maybe didn't want to hear, but having a go at you for the things you've been doing and telling you what you should do based on their life plan, not your life plan. We talked before about feedback versus criticism. Feedback is positive, uplifting, trying to help you move forward. Criticism is trying to drag you down and make you feel small. But that criticism is still a learning experience. So how do you deal with that? How are you reacting to that? Again, I've said this so many times. The Jack Sparrow's quote: "The problem is not the problem. The problem is your attitude towards the problem, or your response to the problem." And I've got an alarm going off at 9 o'clock, which is really irritating because I thought I wasn't going to be talking by 9 o'clock, which means I've probably been talking for way too long. Anyway. And that was it, basically. And then Kobe Bryant, just a quote from Kobe Bryant, which then relates back to the tortoise and hare thing I was talking about a few videos ago. Rest at the end, not in the middle. So the hare did a rest in the middle, and as a result was beaten by the tortoise, who only rested at the end, because he just kept going and got to the end and then rested at the end. I don't know if he did rest or not, whatever. But the point is, you have a goal, get to your goal, then rest. Don't rest in between, and I do a lot of that, without doubt. That's my TV addiction thing, is a rest in the middle. It's not a push on and go forward. Obviously you need to take a bit of rest every so often, because you can't just keep going flat out the whole time, but it needs to be positive rest. It needs to be, okay, I'm now resting, I am recovering to do the next thing. Now you could say that's what the hare was doing, getting his energy back so he could do the next part of the race, but he didn't. He actually went to sleep, and then obviously slept far too long. So when I'm running back up home now, for example, I'm running almost uphill the whole way, and I will have to stop 2 or 3 times to let the lactic acid drain from my legs. And so I will run, and then I'll stop and let the lactic acid drain, and then I'll run again. What I won't do is I won't sit, well, I've done a couple of times, but I won't sit down and then wait and then have a cup of tea and and then waste an hour, because I've got to get back, because I wanted to go and have Laptop Friday coffee at 10 o'clock in Hand Plant in Ilfracombe. If you're anywhere near Ilfracombe, come on down. Find Hand Plant. It's in the Hand Plant. Depends what country you're from. It's on the high street, opposite Co-op. And I will see you there. Hoping to meet a friend called John, who I met walking around this area a few weeks ago. I'd love to catch up with him. Hope to see him there. Right, that's all from me. Sorry it was a long one. Some of it was all over the place. A bit of a mess at the beginning. But hopefully it was useful for me anyway, because all of these things help me to figure these things out in my own head as well. Right, sending you loads of love. Enjoy the view. Take care. Have a lovely what day are we on? Well, Friday. Have a lovely Friday and into the weekend. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow morning. Apparently it's going to be raining a lot tomorrow, so we'll see. Might get very wet. We'll see. Bye for now. Bye.